Sí. Attention, everyone. Thank you guys for coming today. We wouldn't be able to be here and have all these beautiful things in this ceremony if it wasn't for you guys. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of my brother, myself, my dad, and my mom. Thank you. None of this could have been possible here today without your guys' help. I loved seeing each and every one of you. I'd love to see every single one of your faces. I wish it wasn't in the circumstance, but thank you for coming. And I'm going to turn it over to Pastor Royce to take over. So thank you, guys.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be with you all. It's a very special occasion, of course, which brings us together. It's a time really for family. And here, this family remembers family. But you are also a part of this family. If you know anything about Tracy and the way she was with people, then you understand that if you're a part of this gathering today, and maybe even those who are not part of this gathering, you are family. And in behalf of this family, I want to greet you all. I would call your attention to a couple of three little items. There's a beautiful little prayer card that's available back there, as well as a Forever in Our Hearts memorial card. This is quite beautiful what they did. It's a true applique. And then a little box that you may find to be of interest. And please take advantage of those as long as they're there. Also back there, you'll find some votive candles. Some of you may want to light those candles. And there are several candles that are lit up here, but I just asked Doug, and he said if you'd like to take one of those, take it home and use that to light your own prayer before the Father. You're certainly welcome to do that. But in behalf of this family, again, with Andrew, with Austin, with other members of this family, thank you all for being here. You're a very special part of everything that's going on here today. I want to acknowledge many of those who preceded Tracy in death, her father, her brother Lonnie, but we dare not forget others whose legacy, of course, Tracy. Wow. How many people can carry a legacy with such elegance as Tracy did? What a wonderful blessing it was to her grandpa and grandma, Papa Don and Desi Hargis, to her great-grandma, Little Grand Flores, a host of uncles and aunts, too many to mention, but all very special. And she's survived, of course, by her husband, Doug. They've been together a long time, and those of you who know of their circumstance know that after his accident, she was his caregiver. This is a huge loss to Doug, and I know you love him and are here to help him through this time. And we're going to prop you up through this, brother. We're going to come through this with the style and grace and elegance that is demanding of the memory of Tracy. She's also survived, of course, by her sons, her older son Andrew of Baldwin Park, her younger son Austin, and honey Curiel, who's here with him. It was an honor to be able to talk to these boys and just listen to them honor their mom and to have respect for each other and for their dad. You all really impressed me, and your love for your mom is an impressive thing, and I hope that we will be honoring her memory today. She's also survived by her precious mother, Margaret, to whom we send warm condolences over a long distance. Also by her siblings, the surviving siblings, her brothers Alan of Chicago and Mark and his wife Lisa, also of Chicago. Her grandson Ryder Watson of Riverside. I'm a grandparent. Is there anything better in all the world than grandchildren? And the answer to that question, I'll answer for myself. The answer is no. There is nothing better than grandchildren. They will carry that legacy in our name. And then, of course, there's an extended family, nieces and nephews, cousins, many of them, of course, still in Chicago, as well as friends and others who may now be lost to miles or years, but many of you who are extended members of this family have been so much a part of Tracy's life and that of Doug in the intervening years, in the, 24 years or so. Has it been 29 already? Since they came out from Chicago. let me acknowledge something. I know that there's a deep sadness that is attached to the passing of a loving and faithful wife, a precious sister, a devoted and exemplary mother, and a doting grandmother. How can it be otherwise than terribly sad? But I would invite you into the broader purpose of the hour and to embrace with this family some really warm and tender memories. Now, I want to acknowledge our harpist today, who has done such a beautiful job to this point, and she's a most friendly and congenial individual. We're grateful for her effort. We will turn it back to her in just a little while, and she's already aware of that, but I'll let you all know when that happens, but we do appreciate her being here. I know, because I said I couldn't tell Tracy's story the way it truly deserves to be told, that her story is best told by those who knew her better. I'm going to share with you some things about her life that her family shared with me, and I'm honored to do that. But I also know that my effort will have to take a back seat to some things that you may want to mention, and we'll open up the service toward the end in a little bit and to give you an opportunity to do that. Let me just mention that right now so that you'll have an opportunity to think about some things. And it may be that in the course of what I say, I will maybe duplicate something that you would like to say. It was not an intentional choice to exclude you or to steal your thunder. It's just the way it worked out. But I hope you'll not fail to mention your memories and the stories that are upon your heart of this beautiful lady and the many ways in which she touched your hearts in just a few minutes when we open it up. It was a cold and overcast day, a day headed for a high of just 42 degrees with prevailing winds of about 12 miles per hour in Chicago on February the 11th of 1966, when Tracy Robin Flores was born to Alfredo and Margaret Sue Hargis Flores. Tracy was the eldest of their 4 children, followed then by her brothers Alan, Mark, and Lonnie. It is kind of significant now that the eldest of those children, Tracy, and the youngest, Lonnie, have now passed from this life. Raised in the South Chicago suburb of Summit, Tracy graduated from Argo High School in the class of 1984, where she learned computer skills, which would later be put to excellent use in her employment. Among her skills learned early on were finance and accounting skills, which she would be involved in later. The family was Roman Catholic in faith. Tracy was never one to be lazy. In fact, she often had 2 or even 3 jobs at a time. Her first job was at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and most people would say, a kid working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, aren't they glad when they can finally go home and watch TV? Not Tracy. She supplemented that work by working at Mr. Shrimp. And if you're old enough to remember Mr. Shrimp, you really are getting old. While working at TAC in Summit, a company that was established in 1968 to serve the tank industry, Tracy met this handsome young man by the name of Douglas Christopher Hennig. They were married on August the 8th of 1993 in a little chapel in Chicago. With her son, Andrew, James, Tracy, and Doug made the move to TAC West out here in Anaheim in the late 90s, where they set up their home in Yorba Linda. Soon, of course, they were parents of another son, Austin David, and of course that completed the family. And as you can imagine, with a couple of active sons, there's always something happening around the Hennig home with academic and extracurricular activities. Tracy's skills in finance and accounting served her well. Very valuable when she worked at Norco College and then later at H&R Block. And I want to share a little bit about what her family said in the obituary. They've done an excellent job. Tracy was the most organized, accurate, responsible, and detail-oriented accounting and financial profession that any company or organization could ask for. Her work was so outstanding. Let me reword that. Her work was so outstanding, she even volunteered her time to help others and was awarded with multiple certificates of recognition and appreciation, even from the California State Senate, by Senator Richard Roth himself, and the California State Tax Board for outstanding public service contribution to her community. Now, regardless of her business talents, which of course were many, Tracy was most capable as a homemaker also. She loved holidays, always going above and beyond to be sure everyone was happy. And how many people do you know who present little gifts such as this done in her honor, even on Valentine's? And that's what she did. And it wasn't just a card going to someone who's cute. She would bestow gifts upon those whom she loved. Was a fantastic homemaker. She knew how to keep both roof over the heads of her children and food on the table. And speaking of the table, she was a fantastic cook. In the words of Andrew, she could fix a buffet for a small tribe any day. She loved watching the Food Channel on cable television, made Mexican food to die for, and as a couple have said, the best mashed potatoes that were ever made, and that incidentally was one of Austin's favorites on his birthdays. On birthdays, they could expect the very best from her hand. She had a deep faith in God and read His Word daily. She also enjoyed reading recipe books, often preparing foods from them for her family. This again is from the obituary, and I borrowed from that liberally because, quite frankly, I couldn't say it better than you guys did. You guys really did a beautiful job on that. And I asked, how would we describe Tracy? What adjectives, descriptive terms would we use to describe her and the many ways in which she touched the lives of others? Here's what her family said: loving, kind, generous, caring, selfless, giving, intelligent, thoughtful, forgiving, affectionate, understanding, outgoing, faithful daughter, sister, mother, grandma, woman, and friend. The most faithful any of us could ever have asked for. Tracy always put everyone else first before herself. Every single holiday, no matter how big or small the holiday was, she would find a way to somehow flood the entire room completely full of presents or gifts for every single person who came, and send us home with even more gifts to give to the people who didn't come. It was as if each and every holiday was sponsored by Toys R Us or a major clothing store. Wow. How then do you describe her? I suggest to you that in spite of the many things which occupied her attention and her interest, in the many ways in which she showed herself not only a capable but actually a profoundly capable employee, accountant, finance person, and the most remarkable mother that anybody could ever hope to have, in reality, Tracy was a very, very simple person with simple needs and interest in life. It was never about what you could do for her. She loved doing for you. She was just that simple, that guileless, that devoid of anything negative in her character. Her family has many, many reasons to be grateful today, in spite of the sadness of the hour. The author Thornton Wilder once said, "The highest tribute to the dead is not grief, but rather gratitude." Today is a day to be grateful that you, to whatever extent it may be appropriate to you, it's a reason to be grateful that you had her. As said, she was gentle and kind and a truly interesting person, all enhanced with that lovely smile reflecting her inner beauty. And maybe her family said it best when they said, Tracy's heart was made of pure gold. The Lord truly blessed this world with an angel of angels. There's no possible way to put into words how special she was. The amount of love she had and gave was beyond compare. Tracy will be loved and missed daily. She brought a light into the world and a joy into our hearts that will continue to shine bright in our hearts and in our minds forever and ever. And I'm reminded somewhat of the euphemism of life's brevity itself. in words spoken by Solomon, reflected in words that have become famous in spiritual reflections, in poetic recitations, and even in rock and roll. Solomon said there's an appointed time for everything, a time for every event under heaven. He said there's a time to give birth and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. There's a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up. He said there's a time to weep and a time to laugh, but a time to mourn and a time to dance. And then he concluded, there's a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Indeed, those words reflect the words with which we opened this memoriam when I told you, in the words also of Solomon, the living know they will die. All of us are somewhere between birth and death. No matter where we may think we are situated in that broad time-space spectrum, we speak of death in colloquial terms that disguise somewhat of its reality. We use the poetic verse of speaking of earth to earth or dust to dust or ashes to ashes. But when all is said and done, what we remember are the little things which have been done to please us, the distasteful things we have endured, the letters written, the photos shared, the words spoken or perhaps regretfully left unspoken. And still it comes to the simple memories we shared with compelling implications of decisions we make in anticipation or in neglect of the eternity that we face. You see, God heals in grace, and the Spirit empowers unto penitent obedience. The prophet, a great Hebrew prophet in Isaiah 55 said, "Seek the Lord while he may be found, call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked man forsake his way and the unrighteous his thoughts, and let him return to the Lord, and he will have compassion on him, and return to our God, for he will abundantly pardon." That's something that Tracy confidently believed in her heart of hearts. In one of the strongest images of spiritual redemption in Scripture, revealing the power of God's Spirit working through faith, the Apostle Paul wrote, having been buried with him through baptism, in which you were also raised up with him through faith in the powerful working of God who raised him from the dead. You see, there's no greater claim, more strident message which could have been spoken. It was the faith which Tracy had. It was not faith in the word of a preacher. It was not faith in the waters of baptism. It was not faith in the faith. It was the working of faith and God's powerful working, in that what he raised from the dead, he could, in the raising of Jesus Christ, he could work also in raising us, in putting off the sins of the flesh. If she could say anything to you today, I'm certain she would say to you, she hopes that you would live in God's Word and find your refuge in His promises. To know the hope of trusting and the confidence of serving an obedient faith is the greatest of all blessings, in faith in Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God. I hope you'll let the compelling reality of this moment, as profoundly sad as it is, make you a little bit better prepared for eternity, even as you present to God a true heart of faith, of wisdom, and of insight toward life. That you'll live with love for your fellow man and with due attention to the swift approach of the dawning of the day of eternity is the fondest prayer, not only of Tracy, but also of this family on your behalf. Perhaps you're aware of the classic British series entitled Call the Midwife, in which the words of a mature Nurse Jenny are intoned by the famous actress Vanessa Redgrave. They're appropriate to this moment. Here's what she said. This is Season 3, Episode 9. The departure of life eclipses everything. When a death is good, the room is filled with peace, and all the pain that went before it is forgotten. Where there was mystery, there is knowledge. Where there was fear, there's love. Today, I hope you'll realize that Tracy graced you in life as you now grace her in soft and tender memories. And may the most tender of all memories give you peace as they touch your hearts in the days to come. And to know that because of today and because of the memories of Tracy that rest in your hearts, this room is filled with peace. And for all the mystery that may have existed, there is now knowledge. And where there was fear, there is now continuing love. At this time, I want to pause and give you an opportunity of sharing some really special memories that you may have of this beautiful lady. This will give you some time to reflect somewhat upon your memories. And I'm going to give our harpist an opportunity to play an interim bit of music that will, I know, touch your heart. And incidentally, you've done an awesome job. Thank you for being here. Your talent is greatly appreciated. And in the meantime, you have a moment or two until she finishes the selection of her choice. You have a moment or two to reflect upon some memories that you'd like to share. I'll take them first from members of the immediate family or friends, others that are maybe here. And then I'm going to introduce to you Doug, who's going to speak, and followed by his son Austin. And then will be followed up at the end by Andrew, who then will give a closing blessing and a final prayer. Okay? couldn't have selected a better one. You couldn't have selected a better one. How great thou art. That was almost as good as Elvis singing How Great Thou Art. So, all right, some of you may have some memories that you'd like to share. The family would like to offer the opportunity for any of you to speak if you have any special memories you'd like to share. Anyone have anything at this point they'd like to mention? And let me just be honest with you. Someone has to start, okay? But let me also mention, if you happen to have a memory that's a little humorous, I hope you'll not fail to mention that. If you knew Tracy very well, you know she had a great sense of humor and would love to hear these stories to help loved ones and friends. Come ahead, ma'am. Yeah, you might want to come down the center aisle. I didn't realize these were as close here, but thank you for being here. There you go.
I known Tracy about 20 years. She's so special to me. There's so many memories I have of her. When I first got divorced, she would text me every morning. And if I don't answer her text, good morning back, she would call me. And I asked her one day, like, why do you do that every day? And she's like, because if something happened to you overnight, nobody will know, and the kids would not know what to do. The first time my kids went to their father's to sleep over, and I was going to be home alone, she brought her sleeping bag and everything. She's like, we'll have a slumber party, because she didn't want me to be alone. So many things. There's so many things I regret not doing. I just wish I could have one last hug. She was such a good hugger. Like, she would hug you for so long, and you just felt the love when she hugged you. I just remember, like, she's such a good mom. Like, one thing that she always taught me how to be like a giving mom. Her shoes would be, has holes in them, but we would go shopping for her shoes, and she's looking for Andrew's work boots, and I'm like, we came here to buy your shoes because you have a hole in your shoes. And she was walking a lot, but she would like look for your shoes, Andrew, and she's such a giving, always been so proud of you guys. Always mentioned it every time we talk. We always talk about some bad things, but at the end, we always end up talking about how great we have, or how great our kids are, how awesome our kids are. We always kind of end it like that. She loved Ryder so much. So I think the last thing we always said we talk about was Ryder, how much joy he gives her. She's like, he's so spoiled, I just love him so much, like, I think we talk always that we always wonder, we want to make sure that our kids know how much we love them. And we did talk about, like, if something ever happened to any of us, like, that was our pact, was that we had to make sure our kids knew how much they meant to us. She was just always loving, and every holiday I could expect she would be the first one to send me Easter, little picture of a bunny. I mean, she was always the first one, and with hugs and kisses. She lived with me for about a year, and, living together for a year, you kind of end up like having all these things that you like, stop drinking this coffee, don't do this, but living with her for a year was really, it brought us, I think, closer. I just can't believe she's not here. I always think that I'm just going to be able to call her up and have lunch with her or talk to her. It still hasn't sunken in for me to not have her I think the next holiday, not receiving a little special picture is going to be hard. But I want her to know that I really love her. I wish I could have told her that in person. I wanted her to know she's so special to me. That's it.
Okay, that's very special. Little hug from family. Yeah, really special. Okay, anybody else have any memory you'd like to share? Anyone? Thank you for being here, ma'am. And I know I acknowledged it before, but thank you all for being here. You're a huge support to this family. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Okay, you bet.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at Austin, who was this big, and now, what'd you do with him? Anyway, this is the second time this month that I've gone to a memorial or a funeral for somebody who I said, you know what, we're going to go see them, and then when they're gone, you can't see them. So I guess my message here, first and foremost, is if you're in the situation where you have somebody you haven't seen and you go, I need to go see them, don't wait, because when they're gone, the opportunity's gone. But anyway, Tracy was my friend, and we shared an interest in my son Tanner. Of course, there's Nick. It's nice to see him. And they did wrestling and gnarly. Can I say gnarly? Bodybuilding? Okay. And I guess for me, she was such a great friend to my mother, too, who just loved her and my son, and a great friend to us. We were family to her, and she was family to us. But anyway, she's going to be missed. My mother's been gone for 8 years, and I miss her every day, and I'm sure I'm going to be thinking of Tracy and missing her because the opportunity's gone where I can't just figure she's here and pick up the phone. So, you know, that's my, I kind of wrote this down because I have senior moments and I didn't want to forget anything. So I basically want to say to Andrew and Doug and Austin, thank you for sharing your wife, your mother, with us and our family, and what an angel you have now. The best to look over you and your son, Doug, and your grandson, and their beautiful, better halves, I should say. But anyway, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Okay, anybody else have anything they wanted to mention? Anyone? Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I see you back there, so, all right.
So, I met Tracy about 26 years ago. Met Andrew in 5th grade. He was one of my first friends. We've been best friends since. Always going over to their house. Always allowing Andrew to come over to our house. And we literally raised hell all over town. But she was super nice, super loving. Every time I'd come over, the morning was like, it was like Thanksgiving breakfast, but it was everything you ever wanted. I was always taken care of. She wasn't that friend's mom that kind of just waved to you, said hi, how you doing, and moved on and didn't interact. She gave me advice with everything and anything, making sure I was good at school. Sometimes she would call me just to chat me up and say hi, what I'm doing, what I'm up to. Was thrilled when I had my son. She was definitely an amazing woman. She's someone that is going to be missed by everybody. She loved both of her kids very much. Doug, she loved you too. Everyone and anyone that knew her is definitely lucky to even have been in the same room as her. She gave up anything she ever wanted to do for herself. She gave to other people, whether it was her time, her money, or anything. Her whole life was about other people, making them special, like feel special, feel happy. I'm lucky I got to know who she was. 26 years is a long time. It would have been nice to be longer, but you were lucky, man. You had a good mom. Andrew, you had a good mom too. Doug, your wife was amazing. So I'm lucky. Yeah, and it's sad. It's too bad that I'm here at this moment saying this. I haven't said those words to her in a while, so I do feel like I'm late as well, but yeah, it's too bad we're all here for this, but she was an amazing woman. You guys have been touched by her in some way, so thanks for coming out. And Ryder has an amazing guardian angel now, and you guys have someone that'll take care of you guys even in the after. So yeah, Tracy, you'll be missed. Definitely be missed. So all right, thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. I love that you said, called you to chat you up. Back in my day, chatting up didn't mean talk to your son's best friend. So, go ahead. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, first of all, for inviting me today. I'm not the greatest at speaking at these things, but, I grew up with Austin at a very young age playing baseball. And, there are a lot of times we spent a lot of time together. I was at his house all the time. And what I could say is that Tracy always made me feel that even if I wasn't blood family, that I was included in their family. And that was very special feeling to have. Having that kind of closeness with somebody, that feeling that you could talk to them, that they were really there for you and supportive of you. That's not something you find every day. And I really feel that Tracy was that person. Thoughtful, generous, caring. We all heard those words. Every one of those words said earlier definitely speak to her. But I think one word that I'd like to include is extremely resilient woman. She did everything for her kids, her husband, and, she just gave it her all in life. And, as far as being supportive, I know there are a couple other faces in here that we also grew up with that would definitely agree. But I'd like to say thank you to all of you as well for being so supportive to me and, always praying for you guys and praying for her up there. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any thoughts you'd like to share? Okay, at this time I want to turn it over. Our final three speakers will be Doug speaking on behalf, I'm sure, in some sense of his sons, but also about a really, really special relationship. You guys had something really special. So I know you'll give Doug a sympathetic hearing. Doug? I'm going to move this forward a little bit, just in case you need to get around it there. So get my stuff out of your way here.
I want to thank everybody for coming. This is very hard for somebody that you loved, your best friend. So many years. Me and Tracy first met in Chicago at work, looking through a little window. She was the secretary, and actually she was the first one to call me. So after that first phone call, was just love ever since. We raised two beautiful, strong boys. Very athletic. Chase was very proud of her boys. Baseball, bodybuilding, martial arts. She's very proud. See a lot of faces I haven't seen for a long time. It makes me warm inside. You're all beautiful people. Thank you for coming out and experiencing this sad moment. Tracy loved everybody. She loved all of you. Everybody I see here, that she loved all of you. All of you. Let's go over to their house. Let's go. Okay, let's go. When you lose somebody for so many years, you just feel so empty inside. Empty. With God's faith and my family's faith, we will get through this. With the Lord's blessing. And I gotta sit down. Thank you.
Austin?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming and paying respects to my mom. Financially, we were not ready for this, so everyone that contributed to our GoFundMe, you guys made this possible. So thank you guys for that. Special thank you to my brother and Honey. You guys went above and beyond and made this as beautiful as it could be. So thank you guys. My mom was the most caring woman in the world that I knew. She prayed for everyone every single day. In her prayer, it says on the prayer card, the prayer that she said every day, she wished the best for everyone in this world. But everyone in this room, her friends and family, them especially, she wanted us to be healthy, happy, successful, and content with life. And I think that, in one word, caring. I think my mom would want to be known as caring by everyone. But to me, she's going to be remembered as the best mom ever. Not one day in my life did my mom not tell me she loved me. If it was in person, on the phone, or text message, the morning text was good morning, I love you. And the night text was hope you had a good day. I love you more. Good night. Sometimes she'd text me, good morning, I love you, and just like a picture of her. And I would respond, good morning, I love you, with a picture of me. And until this happened, I didn't realize how lucky I was to have a mom that loved me, cherished me, and cheered me in everything that I did in life. Every accomplishment, every failure, everything good, everything bad. She reminded me how much she loved me every day. And she called that unconditional love. For me, it's important, like, I come to peace because I will live the rest of my life knowing that my mom knew how much that I loved her, just as much as she loved me, because I reminded her every day. I knew she was proud of me, and she loved me with all that she had, and she knew that I loved her with all that she had. Our communication every day was more than just love for her. She wanted to make sure her baby, me, I, was okay. Me telling her that I loved her every day was like peace in her mind, because she needed to know that I was okay. She needed to know that I was safe, and that she didn't have to worry, at least for the rest of the day, until tomorrow. But sometimes she would text me and I would be working and I couldn't respond at that moment. I was going to respond. I saw the text message. And then maybe like 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour max, Honey would call me or text me, be like, hey, like your mom's calling me. She wants to know, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I text her back. I always thought that was funny. But now looking back on it, it's like I was that important to her, and she was always thinking about me and how worried, she was always worried about me. And the same for me, just us texting and communicating every day. It was like a habit, and the love was so deep, and if she didn't respond at night sometimes, like I would even get really worried. But she always responded in the morning. So my mom's traits, I think her strongest trait was her strength. She was the strongest woman that I knew. I can't remember my mom ever complaining about a problem she had or showing emotion that something was wrong. I never knew why she always said everything was okay, even though it might not have been okay. But a couple years back, I've realized her unwillingness to show weakness was intentional. She was grooming me and my brother to be strong men, never to show others when you might be weak. Even when I knew what she was doing, she didn't want me or my brother to worry. We still worried. But being born and raised by my mom, we knew that she can handle it. She was strong. She was so strong. And thank you, Mom, for teaching me and my brother how to be strong, although we will never be strong as you. My mom was pretty, gorgeous, beautiful. My mom was super cool. I wish I realized this earlier in life when I was a boy. But recently in the years past, I just realized that I had a cool mom. And I think that she thought she was cool too. Funny mom. This was also realized too late. But when I turned 20 or so, my mom always made me laugh hard. Not that she was like joke funny, but the way she told stories and memories always cracked me up. I think if you were really close to my mom, you know what I mean. Cooking mom, before I moved out, almost every day my mom made dinner. then I moved out, and it was every time we came over, every holiday, every birthday, or just visiting, her food was like her gift to us, and it was always eaten. Forever, well, I miss your homemade mashed potatoes. Memories, there's so many, but I think these are her favorite memories that I can remember. My kid memory, my mom would always take us to amusement parks when I was a kid. Her favorite were roller coasters. She loved going on roller coasters, and she would always take me to Knott's Berry Farm. But I remember one trip we took to the zoo. It was just me and my mom that day. I can remember if it was Christmas or a birthday, but she got me Heelys, those shoes with the wheels on it. And my mom tells the story better than I do, but it was raining, it was pouring that day. And when we went to the zoo, I wore my Heelys because I just got them. And I was falling and running into people all day. And it was a disaster. She was mad, but she wasn't embarrassed. Yeah, it was all day. But the funniest part was, this is when I don't remember how old I was, but I was pretty young because my mom was afraid to leave me outside when she had to use the bathroom. So I went inside the bathroom with her, and I was wearing my Heelys, and she was using the bathroom, and I was in the next stall over, and I was just going back and forth. I remember vividly, and I slipped, and I rolled under all the stalls, and we both just started laughing, and always remember that. I think that was, she always referred to that memory. The most recent memories, I have two. This past Mother's Day, we did not do anything big. We never really did anything major. My mom loved simple, and the most important to her was that all of us were together. My mom, me, brother, Ryder, my dad, Honey. We had a happy day. She was so happy. We took lots of pictures, played games, and ate a lot of food. And that was her definition of a perfect Mother's Day. And knowing how happy that she was that day, and that being one of the last times that I got to spend with my mom makes me happy. And then the other one was the party on Saturday night. This was the last time I saw my mom. Honey's family had a party, and my brother's girlfriend Anna had a party, and she went to both of them with my dad that night, and they don't really get out much, and they partied, and they were both so happy, and it's been a long time since I've seen my mom that happy, and yeah, I'm glad that I saw her like that, and I'm glad they were able to come and party with us. It wasn't, I didn't think the party was that cool, but the next morning my mom texted me. She's like, "Oh my God, we had the time of our life." So I'm happy. Okay, so Mom, I'm glad you got to love Ryder. I'm glad you got to meet Ryder. I know every Friday was Ryder's Day, and that meant so much. Ryder's not here today, but Ryder knows, and she needs to know that his grandma will love him forever. And Mom, I'm glad you got to meet Honey. She's special. You guys came so close. I think you guys talked more than me and you talk sometimes. And when I heard about some of the stuff you talked about, I didn't understand, but I'm glad you guys became so close. And I think you guys were close enough to say that you guys were best friends. So, Honey, my mom loves you. Mom, I'm glad you got to spend 1 year taking care of Grandma. When she came back over here, she was ill, and my mom was her caretaker as well, and her mom meant so much to her. And them being together was, even though they argued every day, it was quality time, and them just being together was important for her. And my grandma's watching, and my grandma knows that my mom loved her, and my mom knows that my grandma loved her. Mom, I'm glad you loved Dad through 30 plus years. That's a lot of love, and the relationship you guys carried your whole life was really special. So, Dad knows that you loved him. Brother, I'm glad you loved him and guided him. You picked him up even if he fell down. You followed, or you allowed him to be the best brother to me, and you showed me through him that no matter what happens, that Mom would always be there for me and be there for us no matter what. And Mom, I'm glad you've seen me evolve into the man that I am today. And without every experience we shared together, I don't know the man that I would be. Thank you, Mums, because I am proud of who I am, and I know that you're proud of me for who I am. But I know you are proud and excited of who I will become. You want me to live a life, the life that you never got to live. Well, now, Mom, you live through me, and it's like you have another chance to everything. To my future family, I can't wait to tell them about you. You live through me, Mom. I miss you, and I love you. Thank you, guys.
Did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, he's great. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming today, and I'll thank you guys for helping us to make this possible. Like my brother said, there's no way we could have done this without you. I know that there's a lot of people watching across the country in different states right now. My grandma, my Uncle Mark, my Uncle Paul, my aunts, all out of state, and I know that you guys can see us. There are so many more people that are here, but thank each and every one of you for help. And I wish that you could appreciate how pretty every single one of these things is. It took a lot of hard work and such a short period of time, so thank each and every one of you. I was thinking, I was like, how do I thank everyone the right way for their help? Do I write a handwritten card? Do I go up and person? I would love to. If you're okay with that, absolutely. You know, as long as, you know, the cooties. But trust me, we're fine. I've been through so many things in my life, so many difficult things, and this, without a doubt, overshadows them, hands down. This is so hard. Like, I was with my mom an hour and a half before she passed away, and she was fine. And now here I am, and she's right here. And it's just, it's undescribable. Like, the emptiness and the hole that's missing is just gone instantly. And I've asked a couple people for advice, like, how do I do the speech? How do I explain all the great things about my mom? And some of you have been like, well, you know, your public speaking is hard. This, you know, and some people can do it, some people can't. It's not that. I was brought up in the public spotlight. It's not that. It's just I would stand here for the next 36 years, and I would tell you every single amazing thing, every single great story I could about my mom. And then there's 18 more years I don't even know about because I wasn't born yet. There are so many funny things. My mom just had so much patience and so much love in her heart. And I wouldn't even know where to begin. I've talked to my mom every single day, every single night. I basically broke every rule at where they lived because of how strong they were quarantining. Because I was like, I got to go see my mom. Like, every Friday, would sneak in somehow. Sundays too. I'd take ride over there to go play. And it's just incredible. Like, it just blows my mind. It happened so fast, out of nowhere. You mentioned that my mom, you guys go out to go shopping. My mom never, ever went out shopping for herself, not once. If she went out and said it was for me, it was an excuse. She was going to get something for someone else. And my mom just gave and gave and gave. And the very last day I was there, May 28th on Friday, Mom calls me during the day, and she says, hey, I'm going to go to the store with your dad. You need anything? I was like, no. She's like, oh, come on, I'll get you something. I swear to God, I'm 36 years old. I'm a grown man, and I don't need socks and underwear. Okay? My mom made sure I had socks and underwear to the day she died, and she really did. I go over there, and I remember this like so clearly because it was the one and only day and the one and only time that we've ever gone over there that Ryan actually helped me carry the stuff out. I'm constantly leaving with bags of stuff, and this is the one and only time he's like, I got it, Dad, I got it. We had 3 bags full of things. We had 1 bag full of 2 pizzas that Ryan didn't eat any of, right? 2 full pizzas. My mom individually packed every single piece in aluminum foil, put it in a plastic bag, and that was 1 bag. Another bag was a big package of socks for me, a big package of socks for my brother, and a boxers for Ryan. That was in another bag. And the other bag, the third one, was this big, cool Roblox toy car set. He loves Roblox, and my mom just loved to make him happy. We leave there that day, and it was the first time Ryan threw him over his shoulders. I got everything, and I was like, what? Oh, and I was like, no. I didn't believe it. He really did. Gave my mom the biggest hug. We left, and then this happened. I was just blown away. But the point is, we didn't need socks and underwear. Mom gave and gave, and she loved and gave to the day she died. And she gave her 3 boys, my brother, me, and Ryan, she gave to the day she died. That's all my mom was about, was loving and giving. That's all she wanted to do. And I don't know how, I talk to my mom every single day, every single night. I saw her as much as I could. Even this past year, with all the quarantine restrictions, I really tried. And I still have this long list in my head that's driving me crazy of, I wish I would have done this. I wish I could have done that. I should have done more. I could have done more. I know that I could have. But now, here I am trying to explain to my mom, and I'm thinking, there are so many things that after I walk out the door tonight, I wish I would have said. Stories I wish I would have told. Funny moments and things that 6 months from now I'll remember. So I'm gonna just try my best not to talk all night and just ramble on. But it's hard, like this with my mom. And the next few days, weeks, years, like, we'll get used to it. We'll have to, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be such a big change. I always felt like I had a safety net. I didn't take it for granted. I wasn't blind. I know what I had, but like, it just really hits home when you don't have it. And it's so hard. And I love seeing each and every one of you. Like I said before this started, most of the people here I haven't seen since I had hair, right? So it's kind of funny, but it's like, dang, it shouldn't take these kind of things to bring us together. We should see each other much more often. One of the funniest moments I have was from this past Mother's Day. You'll see this eventually, but so we go to the pizza place by our house. We spend a couple hours there, and we come back. And my mom, I swear to God, over the years, the patience she had and the forgiveness and the love, just, oh boy. So we go back to the house, and Ryder has a huge closet full of toys. I mean, a lot. And out of all the things, what does he want? 2 plastic sticks, 2 drumsticks. We don't have any drums there, so we get pots and pans. I get him 2 pots and pans. He's on the living room floor just banging on them. It does not sound like a harp. Okay? My dad gets so mad, he goes in his room. My mom was in the kitchen, and she's just like, oh my. And I'm sitting there, yeah, that's so beautiful. Good job, Ryan. Just having the time of his life. And he says, more. And I said, more what? He said, more pots and pans. I was like, all right. So I go into the kitchen, and my mom's in there. And I said, Mom, I need more pots and pans. She's like, no, there's no more. I start opening the covers, and I look to the left of the oven. All the pots and pans in there. I said, Mom, there's a whole bunch right here. I grab 2 more, and I pull them out. She gives me this look of just like, Andrew, you mother effer, if I didn't love you so much, I take him back, I set him down, and Rye just goes to town on all four. And I was like, gosh, my mom put up with so much over the past few years. Oh, man, I could just go on and on, but I don't even know how. I made a list of notes of things I was going to try and cover, but I was going to write a poem until I realized I'm not a poet. I'm not even going to try. That would be a bad idea. But I was going to grains of sand. Every single wonderful, loving thing that my mom did was a small sand. The 36 years that I know about for that filled the entire, from coast to coast, all of California, all of Mexico, all of Hawaii, all of any island in the whole world. Every little thing she did every day was give and love. And every single time was grains of sand that would have filled the entire beach of the whole world. I swear, as deep as it is, as wide as it is, as much as there is, dig your feet in, that's 1,000 at least right there, you know, times millions and hundreds of millions and billions. And I'm not exaggerating. It's incredible. I was and so blessed. I was so spoiled. I spoil my little boy myself because my mom spoiled me, trying with love. And I'll never be as good as her, that's for sure. And the shoes I have to fill now to be not just a dad, but also a brother and a son and a great grandson to my grandma who's watching and my uncles that are watching it's incredible. Like oh my gosh, I'll have to do it somehow, but it's just like I wasn't prepared. No one's ever prepared for this, but I mean, at 55 years old, like healthy as a horse, that wasn't on the radar of getting ready. So, just have to hit the ground running. My mom, her sense of humor she made me laugh so much. She didn't sit and tell me jokes, but just the way she was so funny. I wish I had, if I were to make a list, if I should have, I would have, I could have, it would roll down the floor, down the street, down back to Riverside. It's just shocking. So again, thank you all for coming, and thank you for making all of these beautiful, I mean, everything was donated. Every single thing, from the pictures to the urn. I mean, we custom made it all, we ordered, but it was from you guys. So thank you. This beautiful place. One of the challenges was finding a place, especially now, that wasn't going to make us stand outside in the heat, or that the people who can't physically come today could still be a part of. And it was because of each and every one of you and your generosity and the love in your heart. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to pray. When I was growing up as a little boy, my mom would pray with me every night. And I don't know if she did with Austin, but she would read me this prayer. She didn't read it. She memorized it. And I think she made it up. I don't think it's a Bible verse because I've read the whole Bible. And it's like parts of it, but my mom made it up. I never got a chance to tell my mom this, but I do that with Ryder. When he's with me Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays too, if he spends the night, I pray with him. I make him pause the TV, I make him turn it off, and we pray this prayer. And I never told my mom, hey, Mom, guess what I've been doing the past couple of years? I say the prayer that you taught me. I don't know why I never thought to tell her that, but I have been doing it. I wrote it on the back of the brochure. It's really short, and I don't want you guys to read it. I'm just going to say it to close this, and then Pastor Royce could take back over. But if you could just bow your heads for a second, this is what my mom prayed to me as I was a boy, and I've been praying to my son. All right. Now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I pray for all my friends and all my family, everybody in the world, even people I don't know. We thank you, dear Lord, for everything you've given us, and we love you with all our heart and souls. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
That prayer may have gotten to heaven better than all other prayers in history, because it's prayed, of course, with parents. Once again, let me say in behalf of this family just how very much they appreciate all of you who've been so much a part of this service. and I know it's difficult sometimes for a family to acknowledge that they are just caught up short financially, and to acknowledge everything that's been done. But I appreciate the strength and character of these young men who stood before you and have said thank you. They've had a lot. This family has dealt with a lot over the last several years, especially after Doug's accident. And some of you who face similar things, you know how difficult it can be. So that was very heartfelt that they wanted to share with you. And I bid you all Godspeed. If there's any way in which I can be of further service to you, I hope you'll allow me to do that. Let me just say to Doug, to Andrew, to Austin, thank you for sharing with me so many things of the life of your mom and of your wife. Very, very special. I love you guys. If I can help you, brother, let me know. Okay, we'll. Okay. Yeah, and Andrew would like to ask you if you feel comfortable coming up to pay respect to his mother. You're certainly welcome to do that. Watch out for the candles down here. Please don't anybody kick one over. We don't want to burn the place down. But if you'd like to light a votive candle back there and leave it here, you're welcome to do that. But as I said, Doug said he wanted you to feel like you could take it home and just light it, and just let it burn all the way through, and let the heat waves of that arise into heaven as a prayer on behalf of this beautiful, beautiful lady who has meant so much to everyone down through the years, and especially you ladies who spoke of how very special she was. Thank you for doing that. I'll turn the service over to our harpist, who will play something. This is called an outro, which basically means she's going to play while we close everything out. And we thank her for being here. Very special lady. I'm honored to make your acquaintance also. And hopefully I'll be seeing you some more. You may consider yourselves dismissed at this time as she plays. Thank you.